Alright, what is up, guys? This is Jarman here, and today I'm going to be showcasing a survival city that I had built with a buddy of mine. And just to give you a little basic info about it, it's just the two of us. It's survival, Xbox One. We started out mostly on the Xbox One edition, and we recently switched over to the Bedrock edition so that I didn't have to wait for him to be online to play. So a lot of the redstone stuff, which we didn't have too much of, but most of it is broken at the moment. I have to go through and figure out a way to fix it. But other than that, it's mostly just a town. I mean, most of the buildings have no function. So I figured I'd start on the first street that we ever built. Here's a picture, or here's some of the map. You can see the town starts on one end, like right here, and goes all the way across to about here. So it's a pretty good sized town. This is the first house we ever built. It's like the mayor's mansion. We use the city texture pack, so we get like TVs as the pictures. So we try and use that as much as possible. Here's master bedroom. We used to have a basement in this, but we don't anymore. It used to be our storage area, but we changed that when we got a bigger town. Hospital. A lot of the stuff hasn't been completely furnished, but some of it, you know, different. Housing. We kind of use the sink, furnace, whatever. It kind of looks like that in this texture pack. More housing. We have a church over here. This is our first church that we built. Stained glass, graveyard, a little mausoleum. Here's a little hotel. We got the office, 5 rooms. Police station is right here. Got a little jail cell. Check-in, whatever. Jail cell opens and closes. House. Here's like a little restaurant. Here's our transportation hub, which we don't really use much. It connects to a bunch of places in the city, but the city has grown so big, so fast, that it's just too hard to keep up with. Most of the city is built on actually ocean, so the ground technically only goes down about 2. So it's hard to build tunnels all through. Here's our dock, 2 lighthouses, got a little boathouse over here. And that building over there is just kind of like a fake storehouse, but it's kind of cool. It's just got a bunch of rocks, cobblestone, all that stuff. Bar with a dance floor. This is a little school. We got our little reception. And classrooms. Classrooms upstairs too. That's a Home Depot. Not much in there, but got all the different types of wood and, looks kind of like a lumber yard. Here's our courthouse, kind of inspired by the Back to the Future one. Neat. Not the inside, obviously, but the outside. Here's just some basic townhomes. Here's a store. Kind of hard to do stuff with shelves, but kind of made it look like a grocery store. Clothing store. Right here. Some armor stands, some try-on rooms. This is one of the redstone things that doesn't work at the moment. It worked on the Xbox One edition, but it does not work on this one. I have no idea why. I haven't even tried. That thing took me forever to make anyway, so I really don't feel like diving into that. Here's one of the little transportation hubs. Got like a horse farm kind of thing going on, barn, house. Here's supposed to be the automatic chicken farm, but it's not really working at the moment. There's hoppers that go down into here. There's a comparator that's supposed to light this thing on fire when an egg pops through, but currently all it's doing is killing the chickens and not cooking them. So, and in the patch notes it said it would be fixed, so I'm not really sure what the deal is. This is our rich community. And we've got 4 houses over here. You know, they all have TVs, garages, kitchen, bedroom. So, kind of like the nicer houses in the area. We've got 4 of those, gated community type thing. Another transportation hub. Here's our water treatment plant with a water tower. You got a little pipeline thing going with the house you can't get into. Here's the dock from another angle. We have 3 storehouses throughout the entire thing. They all look the same. A bunch of chests, differently grouped. Wood upstairs, hard stuff downstairs. Miscellaneous, all look, you know, bows, not whatever. It's all there. Got a little factory over here with furnaces. They're gonna try and drop down on me. Furnaces, they all have hoppers underneath and they all feed into this guy. The rest is just for kind of show, but dry dock. You know, gotta think of something to put in some of these places. This is supposed to be like a villa, winery type place. It's not finished yet. Upstairs, tables. We got fast food restaurant. Haven't finished the inside quite yet, but there's gonna be a drive-through that goes through the back. Gotta put a board with some signs on it. Outside bandstand. Looks kind of cool with the back being glass. And then we have a 6-unit apartment building. I'd say this is like a fancier apartment. Because right across here we have like, you know, 4 apartments, but that's kind of what they get. It's the record store back here. There's our record store. Got all the different discs we found that we don't use. Come around. We have a castle that my buddy Kurt's built, just to kind of age the place in certain areas. The bridge kind of needs some supports, but we'll maybe get to that at some point. There's a house with, you know, for the horse farm. A Ferris wheel that Kurt's built. Non-working, obviously, but looks cool. And a beach, you know, lifeguard stand, beach tables. This is kind of for the university that we're about to get into. This is kind of like the lab, classroom, whatever you want to call it. So come up here, there's, you know, little things hanging around. Probably needs to be furnished completely, but on the right side up here we have our movie theater, which you can kind of see the ticket booth, and then it's not completely finished on the inside, but there's 3 screens. Big one, the projector, and 2 smaller ones on each side. And then we roll over here. You've seen all that. Here's our rec center. Got a pool, a sauna, and a basketball court. Oh, there's supposed to be glass there, apparently. Oh no, that's the entrance. Okay. Never mind. This is supposed to be the classroom, university building type thing, but I have not gotten to finish the inside yet. But over here is the dorm. Kind of simple, front, bottom, or whatever, reception desk, and then you come up here, there's 3 rooms, a level, pretty tiny, but that's kind of how dorms are. Showers in here. Then we come across, this is kind of the courtyard, we got coffee, university bar. Not university bar, but Yeah, college bar. Bookstore. And then over here we have their football stadium. Not really a stadium, it's probably the weakest of all of our sports things, but beer garden in the back. We have our ice rink, which I think turned out really cool, especially on the bedrock edition. You can see through the ice better. You can see the lines, dots, and everything. The goals look like they're floating, but that's alright. So I think it looks cool though. We had to watch out because the glowstone couldn't be too close or it'd melt the ice. We got our barn with sheep, pigs, cows. Standard. Oh, that's not furnished. That used to be like a blacksmith shop, and I don't think anything happened with it. House. Here's that hotel's pool. More housing. We have our bowling alley right up here. Kind of cool. We used to have 2 little TVs on these guys, but I don't know what happened to them. Over here, we got the bank. I don't think I showed any of this yet. Bank, we got tellers, safety deposit boxes, fire house. It's pretty easy to see. Fire gear. Come back here. The overall goal of this area was the village breeder and trading hall. So I think what's a pretty standard design, but it doesn't really work right now. There's only one villager in here somewhere. But what I do is I push them down this hole if I want them, and then they kind of swim into the building that's next door. They climb up a elevator and then they make their way into here. If there's an open spot, they will fall down into the hole and they will sit here to trade with you. And if you don't want them anymore, there's a button down here, you pop it and it opens up under them and they disappear into lava. But it doesn't work anymore, but we have the 15 villagers that are, the ones we kind of want, so it doesn't really matter. We have a big storehouse down here. I think it looks kind of cool, but it's kind of gone unused for the time being. I don't know what we're going to do with this room. We have our little arboretum thing. Don't really use it much like a farm, but it's there if we need it. It's got all the different kinds of wood. Here's a bookstore. It's pretty simple inside. Not much to it. This building we kind of really don't even use anymore, but it still works. Basically the idea is a bunch of hoppers underneath and you pop the button, they all come out, push them in, but clearly it doesn't work that well. We have a giant farm across the town, which is kind of more useful than even dealing with that. Over here we have a archery place. But get a bow, target shoot. That's just like a 4 apartment building. Here's the cupcakery. Looks like a cupcake. Inside you can buy a bunch of goodies. Another little transportation spot. Hit these on the way back. Got housing. And here's an office building on the left. Actually, show you the Senate building. It's kind of inspired by Roman Senate with like a bunch of fire added. Went a little overboard on the fire, I think, but still looks cool. Here's the office building. This guy. Office, reception, little offices, and then up here you got a boardroom, tables, boardroom, or board meeting table, whatever. Housing, got a quad house thingy over there. Here's our, what looks like an old Catholic church. And then if you go in the basement, we've got crypt. Skeleton right outside. Maybe? Yep. We have a library. Not much to the top, but in the bottom it's really just our storeroom for all the different enchants. We have our enchanting table. A couple what used to be beach houses, because this used to be the end of the water right behind these, but since then added obviously to it. So they're no longer beach houses. Come over, we'll hit everything and then we'll get to the sports district. We got our second storehouse, same as the first one. So many skeletons. I've really tried to make it so these things don't spawn very often by putting these lights underground, but it doesn't seem to have worked. I've got Trump Tower, because it's pretty gaudy, you know, just seemed fitting. We have another factory, which we have furnaces. Simple designs with hoppers that go into the boxes. We have our cargo boat dock. It's kind of cool. We used all the colors that you can get from the concrete that they added semi-recently to kind of make it look cool. There's our jail, which is across the water. It's not really time to go out there and see it though. Your little control hub. Couple housing things over here. Just 8 basic little houses. Then to finish off this corner we have a zoo. Really loving the sign, but like the inside didn't really turn out like I hoped. Gonna come in here. You're supposed to be able to see what's in there, and then since then things have just spawned in there and it's stuck, so it doesn't really look like we tried. But I actually did try and get the animals I wanted in there. Got our roller coaster. Plan was to build the theme park. I'm not sure it's gonna happen. Come over here and we have 3 apartments. It's kind of supposed to go look after like Wrigley Field type thing. With the apartments in the background, because this is our baseball stadium. I can get in here. So you come up here and come to this side. You can kind of see it a little better, but you got the Wrigley Field apartments with the grandstands and baseball stadium, but then it also kind of looks like the oh, what would that be? San Francisco's baseball stadium. Here first, we have a casino. Inside the casino is a creeper. Oh. Kill me. Especially like sometimes on these realms it lags a bit. But inside the casino we have a sports book with all the TVs, table games going on over here. Your lobby check-in, cashier to get your money that you won. Bar. Upstairs we have rooms, which they're pretty basic. They kind of look like bigger dorm rooms. Nothing too crazy. But at the top, it's kind of built a cool, it's actually a pretty giant building. Up top you got bar, tables, pool. And then down below we have our horse track. You can see from up here. But once you get to the bottom of these stairs, one more thing in the casino that's kind of neat is we have a boxing ring. So, cool. Come outside. Showed you the horse track. That's the entrance. We have your apparel store for all the sports teams. You have a bar restaurant. And then finally you have a bookie stand because there's so many sports around. You might as well have a second place to gamble. And here's the soccer stadium right next door. I think that kind of turned out the best. It looks the best as a block kind of thing, layout. This is kind of the edge of town. I got to figure out something to build there. And then I have a mall, which I just built like yesterday. And so I have not had time to fill it in yet, but it's a 6-store mall. And then 6 apartment buildings, or townhouses, whatever, are right over here. We have our giant farm. The 4 major crops are planted in there, 4 sections, all the same. And we typically use that for villager trading, for emeralds, for other things. Although it has not been as easy to do with the bedrock edition, I feel like the trading is harder. Just stingier or something. You have a little storehouse. This rail takes you almost back to the villager trading house into that building with all the boxes. So that was kind of the intention. And then we have 2 little subdivisions of houses. This one over here is like a 3-building timeshare kind of thingy. This guy is more like a 7-house cul-de-sac. And they're all simple housing. And then we get to the more recent part of town, which we're kind of calling Las Vegas. Just kind of, we did it like maybe half a year ago. We did all this, and then we kind of stopped and decided to go back and, you know, finish up the rest of the town that we had originally done. So here's your airport, 2 terminals, and then you got your little security luggage claim. Here's Treasure Island, got the 2 different boats shooting at each other. None of these are really done on the inside or anything. Here's the Luxor. You get the little Sphinx to the left of it. I wish I'd thought a little further ahead and made it one longer on one side, so that way it would I could have put a beacon on top, but it's too late for that. Our 3rd storehouse, which I just realized it looks so dark because of the different wood color, but same as the other 2 essentially. And then finally, here's our golf clubhouse. It's not finished yet, but we have a golf course, 9 holes. It's really easy to follow around. I don't know how you'd play, but... And then here's our golf range, or Top Golf, whatever you want to look at it as. And that's pretty much the entire town. If you saw anything you'd like to build yourself and you want some ideas or questions, feel free to let me know. If you have an idea for us to build, because we're kind of running out of them, please let me know as well in the comment section. I will try and post this on Twitch and maybe even YouTube. And if you like it or want to see anything, yeah, feel free to let me know or like the video. Thank you, and have a good day.